Good morning. Welcome to the hands-on session on operator overloading. In today's class, let us discuss about arithmetic operator overloading. Python programming language supports the arithmetic overloading. For addition purpose, we are using the add method. For subtraction purpose, we are using the subtraction. For multiplication, we are using the MUL. For floating point division, we are using the true div. For integer division, we are using the floor div. And similarly, to find the remainder, we are using the mod method. And similarly, for power function, we use the POW. Let us discuss with an example. We are creating the complex number consisting of the real and imaginary are the object data members, and we want to overload the addition, subtraction and multiplication operate. So let us discuss an example for the creation of the complex class. So for that reason here we are using the class complex, and already we know that the every complex object consisting of the two data members real and imaginary. For that reason here in the constructor it takes the two parameters real comma imaginary, and these are assigned to the self dot real is equal to real and self dot imaginary is equal to imaginary. So based on this constructor, every object created of the complex class consisting of the real and imaginary are the data members. Next we want to define the str method, and its purpose is whenever we are using the print of the particular complex object, we want to display the real value of the particular complex object, and plus is the constant string we want to display, followed by the imaginary value of the particular complex object followed by the I. For example, we want to print a complex object with the real value is 10 and imaginary value is 20, and whenever we give the print of particular object, it simply displays the 10 plus 20i. That is the output we need. For that reason here in the cr function we simply return the formatted output of the self dot real, that is it simply displays the real attribute value of the particular complex object followed by the imaginary attribute value of the particular complex object followed by the I symbol. Now we want to overload the plus operator. So in the Python programming language, whenever we need to overload the plus operator, we need to define the add method. Here in this add method, it simply takes the two operands. One is the self is representing the left side operand, and the other is representing the right side operand, and here it need to, after performing the addition, it need to return a complex object. For that reason we take a local complex variable c is equal to complex of 0 comma 0. Here the c is an object of the complex class, its real and imaginary values are 0. And next we are calculating the c dot real is equal to self dot real plus other dot real, that is the two complex objects real values sum is added and that result is assigned to the c dot real. And similarly self dot imaginary plus other dot imaginary, that is the sum of the two complex objects imaginary values, that is assigned to the c dot imaginary, and we simply return the c. That is nothing but we are performing the addition of the two complex objects real attribute sum and imaginary attribute sum, those are assigned to the c dot real and c dot imaginary, and we are returning the c value. Similarly, we want to overload the minus operator, and whenever we need to overload the minus operator in Python programming language, we need to define the sub function, and it is also we take the self is representing the left side operand of the particular minus operator, and other is representing the right side operand of the minus operator, and here we are calculating the self dot real, that is the left side operand real value minus right side operand real value. And similarly imaginary value is calculated as the c dot imaginary is equal to the self dot imaginary minus other dot imaginary. So using this one we are able to perform the subtraction operation, and the result is assigned to the c and it returns the c value. And next we want to define the multiplication function. In the Python programming language, whenever we need to overload the star operator, we use the mul function, and here we need to calculate the multiplication of the left operand and the right operand. Then automatically here we defined that already we know that the real values of product minus imaginary values product. The reason is whenever we take the imaginary values products and I into I, that is I square is equal to minus 1. For that reason we take self dot real into other dot real minus self dot imaginary into other dot imaginary, that is assigned to the c dot real. And similarly to calculate the imaginary value, we take the self dot real into other dot imaginary plus self dot imaginary into other dot real, that is assigned to the c dot imaginary, and with the function simply returns the c. So here we defined the complex class, and we simply define the str function for the display purpose, and we overload the addition operator plus operator using the add function, multiplication operator using the mul function, and similarly the minus operator using the scb function. Now we want to create the objects. A is equal to complex of 30, 20. That itself indicates that we are creating A is a complex object, and A complex object real value is 30 and imaginary value is 20. And similarly we are creating the B is equal to complex of 50, 40. So B object is created with real value is 50 and imaginary value is 40. Next we try to print the value of a comma b. C is equal to a plus b. Automatically it performs the addition of the two complex values and their result is assigned to the C. Let us execute this one. So automatically here after creation of a and b, we print the values of a. Here the a value is displayed as the 30 plus 20 because a real value is 30 and imaginary value is 20. For that reason the output is displayed as the 30 plus 20i. Similarly we created the b is a complex object with the parameters is 50, 40. That itself indicates that b real value is 50 and imaginary value is 40, and whenever we are printing the b, it simply displays the 50 plus 40i. And next we are performing the C is equal to a plus b. Actually plus operator is overloaded between the complex objects. For that reason after addition the result is assigned to the C, and once we print the C it simply displays that 80 plus 60. The reason is A object real value is 30 and B object real value is 50. Their sum is equal to 30 plus 50 is 80, and similarly the imaginary values is the 20 plus 40 is the 60. In that way we are able to get the 80 plus 80 plus. For that reason we are able to obtain the result is the 80 plus 60i. Now we want to use the minus operator. Already we know that b is a complex variable, its value is the 50 plus 40i, and a is a complex variable, its value is the 30 plus 20i. Now we want to perform the c is equal to b minus a. That is, we simply perform the subtraction operation between the complex variables b and a. Then the b real value is 50 and a real value is the 30. 50 minus 30, 20 is assigned to the c dot real, and similarly imaginary value of b is 40 and imaginary value of a is 20. 40 minus 20 is representing as the 20. For that reason whenever we display the output, automatically we get b value is the 50 plus 40i and a value is the 30 plus 20i, and c value is after performing the subtraction the result we obtained is the 20 plus 20i. Now similarly we want to verify the multiplication operator, how it will work. Already we know that a value is the 50 plus a value is the 30 plus 20i and b value is the 50 plus 40i, and we want to print the a star b. So automatically it simply produces the value is the 700 plus 2200i. Why we get this one? We simply perform the multiplication of the real values, that is nothing but the 30 into 50, it is equal to the 1500, and next one is the 20 into 20i into 40, that is nothing but the 800 I square. Already we know that I square is nothing but the minus 1. For that reason 1500 minus 800 is equal to 700. We are able to get the real value. And similarly the imaginary value is the 30 into 40, that is equal to 1200i plus 50 into 20, that is the 1000i. Then we get the result is the 2200i. For that reason a into b we are able to obtain the result is the 700 plus 2200i. I hope you clearly understand how to define the complex class and how to overload the plus operator, minus operator and multiplication operator using the methods definition of the add is used to overload the plus operator, SCB is used to overload the minus operator, and MUL is used to overload the star operator. So automatically we are able to perform the operations of the addition of the complex variable objects, and similarly the subtraction of the complex objects and multiplication of the complex objects. Thank you for listening. Thank you.